UFC 302 is officially over. Islam Makhachev defeated Dustin Poirier in the 5th round by Darce choke at 2 minutes and 42 seconds and remains the UFC lightweight champion. Right away, this fight was amazing. It was crazy. It's so weird how the narrative shift from the 1st round to the 5th round. Before the fight even started, going into this fight, we all thought Islam Makhachev is going to destroy Dustin Poirier. He's going to, exchange with Dustin on the feet. Dustin's going to block up high. Islam's going to go for the takedown. Dustin's going to give up his back, and Islam is going to choke him out by rear naked choke. I think that was the general consensus for this fight. Everybody thought Islam's going to kill Dustin. When the fight started, opening round, 1st round, Islam and Dustin exchanged on the feet a little bit, and then Islam takes down Dustin Poirier and had 4 minutes of control time. And right there, we all thought, after the end of the 1st round, Islam's going to choke out Dustin sometime soon. This is the end for Dustin. We all thought that. Then, something happened after the 1st round. Dustin Poirier hit a switch, and I don't know if it was shine bright like a diamond or what it was in him. Something came out and made him start to thump. After the 1st round, Dustin Poirier defended the takedowns way better, getting more underhooks, allowing himself to pressure more and landing more combinations. You could tell in the 1st round compared to the 2nd round, Dustin was kind of scared to throw some punches because he knew he was going to get taken down. Why expose yourself? Why leave yourself open for a takedown if it's about to happen right away? In that 2nd round, Dustin Poirier was marching forward more, throwing more combinations. Islam did get a takedown, but it wasn't that long. I think it was 45 seconds, 49 seconds. So Dustin had a lot of success. I did think Dustin Poirier won that 2nd round because in that round was the round where Dustin Poirier, I think he landed a jab moving back, and then he threw a right hand going forward. And that's when he landed the black eye on Islam. In this fight, Islam Makhachev, he got bloodied up pretty fast, pretty easily compared to like Khabib did against Dustin Poirier, which was kind of wild because it just seems like Russians in general don't really ever get cut up that easily or bruised that easily. But Islam Makhachev has shown in a couple of his fights, the Volkanovski fight, this fight, that he does get bloodied up and bruised up. So that's very interesting to know. After the 2nd round, I had it 1-1. That 2nd round was very close. I gave it to Dustin Poirier because of the black eye. I thought he landed a little bit more damage, and you could give it his way because of the takedown defense and because of the marching forward and landing the combination shots. I thought he won that 2nd round. I had it 1-1. Going into that 3rd round, Islam Makhachev got pissed off, I guess, landed some great shots, and when he went for a takedown, he collided heads with Dustin Poirier in the 3rd round and broke Dustin Poirier's nose. And I think that kind of affected Dustin Poirier's breathing and striking a little bit. You could tell that he was having a hard time breathe, obviously, because his nose is broken. But in that 3rd round, Islam Makhachev won that round easily. He landed some great strikes. And I would like to say this without moving on forward. Islam Makhachev's striking is super underrated. Going into this fight, we knew Islam can defend strikes well and he'll land some. He's not like a huge combination puncher. He's a singular shot fighter, right? He's just looking to pop shots. But when Islam Makhachev lands his strikes, especially when he's marching forward or if he's like setting up for the takedown, right? When he's throwing like a 1-2 and a hook and then goes for that takedown or level changes, when his strikes hit you, they are hitting hard. Dustin Poirier had a pretty bad bloody nose in that 3rd round. And you could just tell the forward pressure from Islam was a big threat for Dustin. And he knew he did not want to back up to that fence because he knew once Dustin knew when he was backing up to that fence, Islam was landing shots, a takedown was coming. And that's a big no-no, especially fighting someone like a wrestler, right? Going into the 4th round, Dustin hit another shine bright like a diamond moment and something changed. 4th round comes, Dustin Poirier is standing his ground. He's keeping the middle of the octagon. He's not moving back, landing some combination punches. He's leaning on that front foot, throwing that jab, throwing the overhand. And I will say, with Islam and Dustin both being in southpaw, He didn't really see much of an open stance that much. But Dustin was landing great overhand lefts and great left hooks. I don't know why he didn't throw more with the left hand. It seemed like during the entire fight, Dustin was trying to look for that jab more than he was with his left hand, which, if you're in southpaw, right, where it's right hand forward, left hand is back, right, and you're not throwing that many left hands, maybe he was concerned about the takedowns. I don't really know why, but in the fourth round, Islam Makhachev had a huge gash on his forehead, bloodied up bad. There was a moment where Dustin's looking at Islam in the face and saying, "Come on, let's go, let's go." He's pointing to the ground, wanting to throw down. And Islam Makhachev, man, damn, dude, he is strong. Islam Makhachev has shown he is durable. He is tough. Dude, he is a tough dude. Like, props to Islam for winning this fight because that was insane. I had Dustin winning that fourth round. I had it 2-2 going in that fifth round. I thought, it could be 3-1, might be 2-2, but Dustin needed a finish in that fifth round, right? I think that was a general consensus. For him to solidify that win, for him to get the belt, he had to get the finish, right? We all thought maybe it could be a knockout. Going into that fifth round, Dustin looked great, landing great shots, staying in the middle of the octagon, and then this is where it all went downhill. And Dustin actually had pretty good takedown defense in this moment. Islam Makhachev goes for a single leg in the middle of the octagon. And I will say this, Islam's success in the takedowns came from when he was against the fence, when he would back Dustin Poirier up against the fence, go for the single leg, and then dump Dustin Poirier. That's where his success came from. Islam didn't really have much success in the middle of the octagon when he was going for the takedown, except for the fifth round. They're in the middle of the octagon. Islam Makhachev goes for the single leg, gets to the single leg against Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier is like stretched out with his right foot forward, and he's trying to pop it out. And as Dustin Poirier pops it out and switches his feet and his left foot forward, his left foot is now forward, Islam Makhachev pretty much does like an ankle pick and slings Dustin Poirier down, gets on top of him, and is actually going for the guillotine. And then as soon as Dustin Poirier is turning over to his side, Islam Makhachev kind of goes from that guillotine in a way where his hands are over, where he's dropping his elbow down and is going for the Darce choke. Great freaking choke, by the way, because that is one choke where, especially if you're on your side and the lock position is down on the canvas, it is hard to get out of. And I would imagine at that moment, Islam Makhachev in his head is telling him, I got 2 minutes left, squeeze as hard as I can now, and hopefully the fight will end. But insane fight. Islam Makhachev got the finish. I will say, Dustin did surprise me. I thought he looked incredible. Everybody counted him out. I counted him out. I didn't really think he was going to look this good. Dustin Poirier has a terrible hip. It always seems like Dustin, he is arguably the greatest fighter to never win a UFC belt, to be a undisputed UFC champion. It seems like Dustin gets so close, but yet he can't ever just like finish the job. And this was one fight where, man, he was so close. He could have had it. On the judges' scorecards, they did have Islam winning going into that fifth round, 3-1. One judge did have it 2-2. So, if, let's say, Dustin Poirier never got submitted or even, went for something crazy in the fifth round, he would have lost either way because Islam was up on the cards. But, you never really know. Dustin Poirier, hell of a fighter. If this is the end of Dustin Poirier, wow, what a career he's had. He's been in a title fight 3 times. He's been the interim champion. He's made a crazy stance in this division and in the sport of the UFC. I think we all got fired up when Dustin Poirier in that fourth round was telling Islam in his face, like, let's go. Let's go. So that's the type of fighter Dustin is, man. He's the guy who gets his ass beat in the first round and then in the fourth round lands some great shots on you and is a warrior. I think one of my favorite fights I've ever seen Dustin Poirier in was the Dan Hooker fight, a 5-round war, Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier. Probably my favorite Dustin Poirier fight of all time. But insane fight. Props to Islam. Islam has talked about now he wants to go to the welterweight division. I don't know if I like that. I really like the Arman Tsarukyan fight. I love these challenges in the lightweight division because it seems like some of the fighters in the lightweight division might not have the greatest wrestling defense to beat Islam, but they have the overall skills or durability or toughness that they can stand a chance against Islam. And I think Arman Tsarukyan is that guy. He might not have better takedown defense or better grappling than Islam, but he definitely has the striking, the toughness, and the jiu-jitsu at least to put up a fight against Islam Makhachev. If Islam Makhachev goes to the welterweight division, I think that fight is going to be hard for him against Leon Edwards or Bilal, which if Bilal beats Leon, why would Islam go to the welterweight division? Because Bilal's been training with Khabib and Islam in their camp. So if Bilal beats Leon Edwards, does Islam still go to the welterweight division and try and fight for that second belt or not? It's very interesting. When Joe Rogan was talking to Islam, Islam said, I want that second belt. I'm trying to build my legacy here. I don't want to be known as the greatest UFC lightweight champion. I want to be known as the greatest UFC fighter of all time, and I completely respect that. I would like to see Islam go for that second belt, but first, before that, let's just see him against Arman. If Islam beats Arman Tsarukyan, then put him at the welterweight division for that second belt. I would love to see it. And I think in that fight, dude, I think Arman could get the best of Islam. Islam has shown, he gets tired going into the later rounds. I think we all thought it was the same thing with the Volkanovski fight. Like, those later rounds, the third, fourth, and fifth round, you could clearly see Islam slow down. Islam is still landing some great striking and shots on his opponents, but he's also absorbing a good amount too, and he's getting bloodied up, and he looks exhausted. He looks tired, and it seems like those are the rounds for him to get beat by, right? So whoever does beat Islam is probably going to be in those later rounds, third, fourth, fifth round, where, Islam is just getting beat up. He's going to war and gets caught with something or, tires out. But great fight. Dustin Poirier, hell of a career. I hope it's not the end of him, but if it is, what an amazing fighter. Islam Makhachev, God, I hope he fights Arman Tsarukyan. That'd be a fun fight. That was my breakdown of Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier. Hell of a card. Great main event. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.